Hello, hi, and welcome again to the Terminal Podcast, where in the end, it's all about the numbers. This podcast is going to look back to 2018 and the original publication of the rap debut album tournament, or so far as known as the RDAT, brought to you by our corporate sponsors, Car Turn Signals. They're available on all vehicles. They alert these car turn signals alert other drivers where you plan to move your 1-ton mommy killers, as raccoons and squirrels probably call our latest form of transportation. My guests tonight have reviewed some part of the articles published on martinkester.com and have dropped into the terminal to continue this ever-evolving conversation like civilized citizens. What's your name and where you zooming in from? I'll start from my left to right. Ed?
Hey, my name is Ed Molina. I'm zooming in from Brooklyn, and I think the camera caught me fixing my luxurious mane while you were setting up. So,
It's fun. And Dan?
This is Dan Filowitz, and I am zooming in from the lovely Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
Okay. I
Looking
don't know
forward
if
to this.
zooming's the thing, but I'm going to start using it because it kind of does fit. It's no longer calling, it's zooming. So we're zooming to talk about the RDAT's NC bracket top seed, which is in the rap debut album tournament. Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. Hove will hold for applause as he's done in many songs. Uh, many times he's asked or holding for applause. Reasonable Doubt is the top seed, and it's going to be facing the winner of Capital Punishment by Big Pun, which is the 4 seed, versus the number 5 seed, Eric B. and Rakim is Paid in Full. In 2018, when the original publication was posted, Rakim moved on. But earlier in this video series, if you'd like to look back, Ed, who's on the call, and another participant both chose Big Pun. So it's arguing, I believe Ed at the time said it's a debate between Shakira and Beyonce between those two. Uh, Either way, in my eyes, um, I won't even get to that. The original choice was Paid in Full. So just as a throw up, Dan, and you obviously weren't prepared for this. You were prepared to talk about Paid in Full, but between Paid in Full and Capital Punishment by Big Hun, which one would you take?
I'd probably still take Paid in Full, just because of the influence it had on hip hop. I think that as far as hear a lot of people talk about hip hop history, and there's like an inflection point of before Rakim and after Rakim,
Hmm?
and it's not the same. It's not the same with Big Pun. Like that record's great, but there's not like
No.
didn't have the monumental impact in the way that Paid in Full did. So that's probably
You,
why I pick it. Although it's
I was
not
gonna say,
like crazy to pick the other way, but that's how I would pick it.
no,
that, but that's why I compared it to like, would I'd rather hang out or date Shakira or Beyonce, right? Like you're winning in life regardless, and that's why I kind of compared it to both, not musically, but like aesthetically, if you will. Like there's really no bad choice. Like I'm not gonna be here like that is blasphemy. Like it's not, like
I
everything you
was
said about Paid in Full, it's a foundational album in the genre in the way that maybe a Paranoid is with metal in those terms, I guess I would say.
it also is arguably one of the greatest MCs who is missing from a third of the 12 tracks on the album, which is part of the problem, which is why Capital Punishment or Paid in Full moving on as the 4-5 it's a toss up, as was said, but it is a 4-5, which would essentially be the 8 seed in a 32 tournament or the 16 seed
Mhm.
in a 64 tournament. Uh, Almost look at it like Fordham versus Hofstra, maybe those two, and the winner gets the number 1 seed, which is um, as I said, Reasonable Doubt. So I I'll just ask this straight up: would either one of you take Capital Punishment or Paid in Full over Reasonable Doubt?
No.
Is anyone taking
No,
the is anyone taking the
No.
upset? No.
No.
to prepare for this, I listened to both, and like I try to listen to the whole album too, because that the classic songs you know already. But
Mm-hmm.
the you make the good point. Like the filler that's there on the Eric, like on Paid in Full, is not as enjoyable as the filler that's there on the Unreasonable Doubt. Like
As
the
I
like because there's like so some of those songs are not great on Reasonable Doubt. The great ones are amazing, but it's not like I mean, look, it was of the era, but like the DJ track, right? Like listening
Mhm.
to like Shiny's Arithmetic. I hadn't heard it in a while. Don't need to hear it again for a while. Like it's
As I said on the previous time we talked about this, uh, there's a contemporary at the time. DJ Jazzy Jeff is a contemporary of Eric B at that time. He's doing similar tracks. They sound way better. Like you can go back and listen to go back and listen to DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince albums from early on. There are DJ cuts, and you're like, wow, that actually sounds. I like that sound. I mean, it's sad, but it's neither here nor there. The point is the number one seed moves on. So basically, this becomes a question of reasonable doubt, which is fine with me. So where do you think, Ed, this album is in Jay's legacy?
Wow. See, it's funny. I was just discussing this with Buzz. It's definitely in his top three of his discography. Is that how you say the word? I don't remember.
I believe
I'm
you've got it.
mispronouncing. Uh,
Discography.
I,
It's
I will, I will mispronounce it eventually. But
yeah.
I think as far as his resume, it's within the top three. It's not my favorite Jay-Z album. It's actually my second favorite Jay-Z album. My first favorite album is the Black Album. I know there's people that would put Hard Knock Life above those two because of its commercial success. And it's got bangers. I think it was a more commercially fresher album, again, of its time for Jay-Z compared to Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt kind of snuck up on me. And I think
Mhm.
that's why I have it so high. But it was, it hit like crack to like, it hit like crack. As soon
Mhm.
I think the first one is Ain't No was the first song that I heard. No, it wasn't Ain't No. It was shoot, hold on. I have it right here. I took notes, I swear.
Oh, well, while you're going through your notes, Dan, you can say where do you place this as far as Jay's legacy?
yeah. I mean, it's got to like I would agree. It's got to be top three somewhere. I don't think it'd be first, and but it's not like it's not low down either. I mean, he has some not so good ones on his resume as well. But the quality of the best songs on this one are
Mhm,
like hold up really well.
mhm,
And I think that it wasn't as gigantic of a hit as the later ones were. Like he wasn't, at that point wasn't Jay-Z international superstar. And so I think people revisited it after that and like, oh, you know what, this was actually really good. So I think that's how it shows up. It's like I think people got their entry point elsewhere, came back and found this one again, even though they might have heard one or two of the singles on the radio and reappreciated it. So it's probably not going to ever make number one, but usually somewhere in the top three or four.
Okay. You
You know,
already
it's funny.
talked about, oh, go
Oh no, I
ahead.
was gonna say, what's funny about that? Because I feel like there's something to that. It's kind of like differentiating Wire fans that saw it during the first run compared to Wire fans that saw it after the fact when it was like binged it all together. I think there's a core, particularly here in New York, when that album dropped, where it was like, again, it dropped like crack. It was all Ain't No was playing all over the place, but it was the low key bangers like feeling it that people were playing here in New York. Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
The one with Mary J, the joint with Mary, the opening track with Mary J. My brother's favorite Jay-Z
Can't
song
knock
of
the
all
hustle.
time. Yep, can't knock. Yep. My brother's
Hmm.
favorite Jay-Z song of all time is Can I Live? Like that is for his
Mm.
forever track. And he's a huge Jay-Z stan to the point that one day he got really, really drunk on Ray and Nephew and wanted to beat me up because I said M killed him on that Renegade track. Like he really,
Yeah,
had he not
which is
stumbled on his untied Tims, my brother was about to put the beats on me over Renegade, right? Like his favorite track is Can I Live? So I think there is kind of like that differentiation of when that album dropped, like the heads that listened to it first. I think there's an an emotional soft spot to that album compared to like the more commercial albums like a Hard Knock Life, like a Black Album, like
Mhm.
Kingdom Come. I didn't even like Kingdom Come. I'll be honest with you, that was an okay album. It's for all of Jay-Z's greatness, he has
We
some clunkers out there.
we
So
can we can discuss all of Jay's discography. It is difficult with the S and the C kind of next one another, but later on, if short and anything, but we're talking about Reasonable Doubt. So Dan, what's your favorite track? What's your number one track on Reasonable Doubt?
I tend to like DJ Premier tracks no matter where they are. So I'd probably go with The Evils is on that one. Although Dead Presidents, if you catch me on a different day, I would say that one.
Okay. Ed,
uh
we know your brother's favorite track, but
it's up there. It's up there with me. Actually, I love Brooklyn's Finest. Like
mm,
him and Big, Jay-Z and Biggie Small make you shit your drawers, right? Like I love, love that interplay. I wish we'd have seen an album or something more. Those two had great chemistry together. My favorite other song actually is Deep Cut, the last track, Regrets. I really
yeah,
love Regrets.
that's
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 more
my favorite track.
to quote Kanye, which I don't usually do nowadays for obvious reasons, but I
Mm.
want an introspective Jay-Z. Regrets is very much feeling it. I think is introspective Jay Z. I love
You know
that
a little
Jay Z.
bit.
I love that Jay Z more, and I think this is why I have such a soft spot for this album than Hard Knock Life tour headliner tour. I like this Jay Z that you could probably watch at Irving Plaza, on a stool, just reminisce about the old days in Brooklyn. But I would say Brooklyn's Finest is my favorite, and Regrets. And actually, my low key favorite that I'll play every once in a while and reminded how good
There's only so many tracks on the album. Go ahead.
I know, Friend or Foe. Friend or Foe is great storytelling. I love Friend or Foe.
Okay. I mean, you're really not going to go wrong, and hence the number one seed. You mentioned it twice over, and it's like both of you are transitioning into what I'm writing, like you're reading it. Dan, does Brooklyn's Finest get forgotten on it because it's on this early track? It's Jay-Z and Biggie Smalls on the same track together. There's other ones. This is the best. Does it get forgotten?
Seems like it does because I honestly, again, like having just listened to it again recently, like I
Mhm.
hadn't before that in a while, and it's not one that I hear like if I'm driving in the car listening to like Rock the Bells radio, I never hear it on that, for example. And you would think,
Mm.
of any place you'd hear it, something like that, where they play plenty of Jay-Z and plenty of Biggie, but not that one. So I think, yeah, I think it's somewhat forgotten. Now,
And
maybe ask a question
uh,
back to you. Could
mhm.
you argue that you know Jay-Z got another one of the tracks in Jay-Z's catalog where maybe he wasn't the best on that track?
Oh, there's a long list of tracks where Jay is not the best on it. He gets if you want to that's a whole I mean that's well we're talking about Jay right now. He's not the best on a lot of tracks. I'll just stop there. As far as I'm concerned, he's almost like I'm trying to think of a basketball player to compare him to where he's willing to play the two. You know what I mean? To play the two and let
He's
this other person be the star on this track or
he's
something.
LeBron. He's his
But it,
favorite ball player. He's
but
LeBron. He likes to pass the ball. He doesn't need to shoot the rock like
it,
Jordan did, like to be the glory hound. He likes and much like LeBron, LeBron gets all of the credit when things go right. That's Jay-Z. Like
and then gets
I
little credit. Yeah, but and
and
then get
then
talked
I get
about
my
getting
ass
roasted
kicked
on.
for the renegade. Like, oh,
Well,
sorry.
but there's a lot. Yeah, you're being kind on just Renegade because I can think of there's Beanie Siegel tracks
Oh,
and
oh,
there's
oh no!
others. there's,
I tell
there's
you,
tracks on this album. I was gonna say, but go ahead.
I tell you one track where Jay was the worst rapper on it, and that's saying a lot. But if you remember the Fix Scarface, the song "Guess Who's Back," which is Scarface, Beanie, and Jay.
Yeah.
Jay had the worst verse on that, and that's no
Yes.
disrespect to
Yes.
Jay,
No,
but
because I remember that track. Yeah.
Yo,
Because
that
yeah,
Face killed it. Face killed it, and Beanie was no
and
slouch.
Beanies. Yeah. There's. Well, that was gonna say. So we've talked about the featured artists. I he's this is one of the things why I have this and Illmatic. I have Illmatic higher up because on Illmatic you just have Nas. You get AZ on one other track, and the rest of it's just Nas. This album, you've got Mary, you've got Biggie, which we just talked about. You've got Foxy Brown, you've got Memphis, uh, Jay, Sauce Money, and Big J, Memphis. So the question is, who's the best featured artist on this album, not named Christopher Wallace, out of all the ones that I just named? And I feel like I'm missing one, but
Oh, for me, it's Mary. But I heart Mary so much. What's the My Life is one of my favorite albums of all time. So like, and I love What's the 411. I'm a big Mary stan. I think I love her track and her range in that opening track. It's a great opening track too for albums. When back in the day when you would sit down and listen to a whole album, that opening track is very key.
yeah.
And that opening with Mary, especially since a lot of for a lot of people, they were introduced to this album through Ain't No with Foxy Brown. I think kicking it off with Mary was a great idea because that led you down the rabbit hole of the rest of the album.
Yeah, I think you're right. Although you could, I think you can make a case for Foxy Brown because that introduced her and like that song was huge.
That's how she made her money. But go ahead, I was gonna say that's the only reason why anybody knows about Foxy Brown is because she starred on. I mean, you could argue, yeah, there were other things she was on and stuff like this, but this from here jumped and she got an album. So she got an album. Her album became something people wanted to listen to, for the hot second.
It was
For the
not a
hot
bad
second.
album.
No, it wasn't. For the hot second, that Foxy Brown was the top female artist MC in the game. For that heartbeat of a moment, she had it.
Yeah, apparently a nightmare of a person, which is what led to her downfall.
But for the
Still is
heartbeat
a
of a
nightmare of a
moment,
person.
for the heartbeat of the moment, she had it. And then other things like that will come up.
I don't know. I think I might have to throw a flag on the play because that's the old Foxy or Little Kim debate. I was more of a Little Kim stan, and I love Foxy. That first album was
Okay,
great.
so I won't I'll come back to the next question and go straight to since we've had all three of them mentioned between Mary J, Foxy, and Little Kim, which is your Mary, what is it, Mary Kill Fuck? Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
Are those three? So on the spot, Dan, because you couldn't have been prepared for this. So between Mary J. Blige, Foxy Brown, and Little Kim, which do you marry? Which do you murder? Is it marry, murder? And which would you make sweet, passionate love with for a night? I guess is the kind way of saying it, correct? Isn't that the
Yeah, yes, that's the kind way. So yeah, so on the spot, I would marry Mary and kill Little Kim, and then enjoy a night with Foxy Brown. That was my
enjoy
thought.
evening with Foxy Brown? Yeah, okay. Ed?
For me, I'm marrying Mary. I want her doing that little horrible Elaine Bennett dance for me. That I love so much. Mary's my girl. You don't understand. I watch Power because of Mary. I love Mary J. Blige. I love me some Mary. She was gangsta in that. Sorry. Kill. I wouldn't say kill, but she would kill me is Foxy Brown because like I forgot the milk at the bodega. Like she just has that kind of temper. I feel like she put a blade to my neck.
Hmm.
And then mess around with old school pre-surgery Big Mama Lil Kim, like the one that's on the cover of that album. That Little Kim
Yeah.
seems like she is a good time. Roll you some blunts in between and all that. Like, yeah.
See, that's why I'm marrying that Little Kim that's on the cover. I'm marrying Little Kim off the cover. That version of Little Kim, I'm marrying. I'm having sex with Foxy Brown for one night and then disappearing out of the country because I'm killing Mary J. Blige. Because
Yo,
I
it's
feel
on
like all
site.
the all
It's
the
on
no,
site.
well,
Hasn't she been through enough?
It's
hence why
on
I'm trying
site,
to leave the
Martin. You kill
country.
my girl, it's on site.
Look, she sung over so many people on that first album, and no one ever shouts that out. So for me
Oh.
shouting that out and then everybody getting upset with me is why I would kill Mary and then leave the country after I had sex with Foxy Brown. And then I got Little Kim married, and ain't nobody coming out. If I'm married to Little Kim gonna make sure I stay alive. So
Yeah, she's gonna grab the ratchet for you. Like
It works out that way. So we're saying all that to say, are Dan, you listened back through this album. Did you what track did you want to, or what did you eventually skip? Or was there any? Or was there not
No,
any?
I decided not to skip this time. I mean, there's probably
But
I have to go
but
look at it.
if you go back through, yeah, is there anything offhand? And you're looking through now, anything you
Yeah,
can
no,
think of that you would skip?
I know exactly what I would skip. 22 twos. That's the one track I would skip.
Really? 22
Yes.
Really?
twos?
Yes, I would skip 22 twos.
Oh,
Everything
interesting.
else, like I'm looking at this. I'm not skipping Can't Knock. I'm not skipping usual politics. Politics as usual is dope. That's actually one of my top five, top 10 tracks.
Hmm.
Brooklyn's Finest, Dead President, Feeling It, The Evils, Can I Live? I'm not knocking any of those out. Coming of Age is dope. I love that track. It's Memphis is only good when he's around his boy, right? Like he's Robin. He's the ultimate Robin. He'll always be Robin, right?
Yeah.
He's never gonna grow up. He's not even Dick Grayson Robin that grows up into Nightwing. He's like Damian Wayne. Like
Meth Meth could be one hit away his whole career. As long as Jay's alive, he's a millionaire.
millionaire.
And even if he dies, he's in his will somewhere. So he could
Yep.
just sit back and chill somewhere.
There
Yeah,
you go.
it's been said.
You know, here's
Um,
what I actually had an answer for you though.
go
I
ahead.
think if I was going to do it again, and only because of I've heard it so many times. I would probably skip Ain't No, just because like I've heard that
Mhm.
a million times, and
I would
come
I'd
back
skip
to it
it
once every
because
once in a while, and it's like I can play it in my head if I have to because I've heard it so many times.
I skip it because I'm just not a big fan of it, honestly. That and Bring It On, yeah. I but that's me. Because and I do I do like this album. So what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, so we're towards the end because like I said, this is essentially just a crowning of the number one seed as he moves on. Um, yeah,
But can I go
so
back to
that
one thing
one,
though? Just
oh, please go ahead.
you talked about the strong opener. The one thing is that back to Paid in Full. It ain't no joke as a statement of an opening song is about as good as you can get. And it followed up with a DJ track, unfortunately. But like, if you hadn't heard Rakim before, you just got that album. That's the first song, and he's telling you exactly what they're about. That's about as strong as you can get on an opening track.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're also listening to God MC, but Jay's going to be able to be considered the God MC. Oh, I was going to shamelessly self promote, um, as anybody would do. There's things coming up, but I'll forget about it for right now. I was talking about the fact that Jay-Z has outsold Rakim twice and three and 500 times over. He's
For
actually
sure.
surpassed 104 million album sales lifetime worldwide, yada yadas, according to chartmasters.org. And all of this is leading into the close and the trivia numerical question. Jay-Z's dropped 17 albums, which the number is like, okay. And that's 17, including everything from Reasonable Doubt to Everything Is Love, the 2018 studio album between I'm sorry, according to Wikipedia, the 2018 debut studio album by American musical super duo The Carters. Uh, so the 17 includes Watch the Throne, Best of Both Worlds, and The Dynasty. Blueprint 3, surprisingly, is the biggest with 11.8 million units sold. 3.1 million is pure sales, once again, according to chartmasters.org. With all that being said, with that knowledge, where do you place his debut album off sales alone?
You mean like
So
Sales.
number one off of sales alone. So number one is Blueprint 3.
I
I'm
think
certain you guys can guess about what's on the
so.
bottom, but
So how many albums he said he had total, including the ones with?
17.
So I got it
17.
17.
You think it's at the bottom?
I think it's at the bottom. That album sold okay, but it also came out what the same year as Wu Tang and Nas and
Hmm.
Outkast, and yeah, no, that was. It's one of my favorite years of music, but I feel like it because it was so the market was so flooded with quality product that I think the price of the brick was down. I'm going with 17.
Okay. Uh,
I
Dan?
would guess more like 6.
All
Because I
right.
think, it's got the advantage of being, it's been what, I guess, 30 years since it came
Yes.
out.
Hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
it's had 30 years of a chance to sell, and the tracks on there are still notable. So it's probably hasn't sold as big as some of the like Blueprint 3 and the others, but 5 to 6. What I said 6, 6.
All
I'll go
right.
with 6.
Said 6. Ed is 17. Those are the numbers. And I'd like to thank you all for listening. However, whether it's through Spotify, Apple, or Pandora, you can watch everybody on the screen and possible additional, probably not, for every episode at youtube.com/at Terminal Pod, one word. It's the channel for all your questions. The answer to tonight's trivia question will be in the description. I'll be back soon enough with hopefully something better to put down. Uh, Dan, Ed, I'd like to thank you both. Yeah, I'm not going to do any promotion at all. I'm just going to say take it easy down your life's highway and have a good evening.